I have 7 cameras. Do I really need all of them? In this video, we're gonna find out. I'm going to go through all of them and show you the different use cases, and you'll have to decide in the comments which one is your favorite, which one I could live without, and if there's a model I'm missing. Let's start with the big dog. The Sony A6700 with a Sigma 18 to 50mm f-stop 2.8. It's the one I'm filming on right now. And this is my main video camera that I use for all my YouTube videos because it has a beautiful 4K image that's actually downsampled from 6K. It's great for talking head stuff. It's great for creative cinematic shots. It also has a viewfinder and takes incredible photos. The only thing I don't really like about it is that it's big. So big that sometimes it's inconvenient to bring it along. But this is the beauty of cameras. They all have pros and cons. I've researched this for hours on end and have come to the conclusion that there does not exist such a thing as the perfect camera. There's always a trade-off. Okay, let's look at a camera that fixes the size issue of the A6700. The Insta360 Go 3. This is a pretty unique action camera because you can remove the camera, which makes it even more tiny. And it still has 4K resolution, although it doesn't look quite as good as the big camera because of physical limitations, like the sensor is really small. But hey, there's the trade-off. Worse video quality, but super small and light. I've gotten a lot of use out of this camera when running, which is something I do quite a lot, and I like to put it in these videos. I used to use my phone for this, but come on. This is just so much easier. And it actually has a magnet on the back, so you can stick it up on any lamppost or railing or anything magnetic really, which can create some super unique and cool shots. And the stabilization is also unmatched. And lastly, you can put it in cool, unique places where no other camera would fit. All in all, a neat little camera. Now, let's move on to the iPhone 15 Pro. Smartphone cameras has gotten so good these last couple of years that if I were starting from scratch as a YouTuber or content creator, I would just use whatever phone I had in my pocket. Actually, that's what I did when I first started. The first videos on this channel was filmed with an iPhone 12. Now though, I basically only used this to capture something when I didn't think I would be needing to capture something. So if I'm on my way to school or the gym, or I'm buying something that might be interesting for the current video I'm working on, I'll just whip out this and press record. To the untrained eye, an iPhone clip squeezed between a bunch of big camera clips is hard to even notice, but can add so much to the video. The one drawback for me though is that there just isn't enough depth for the lens to make the image look beautiful. Again, it's a physical limitation. Okay, let's look at my first real camera that I bought to upgrade my iPhone 12. The Sony ZV-1 compact vlogging camera. This used to be my main camera on this channel before I upgraded to this thing, and now I genuinely wouldn't choose it over my iPhone, at least for YouTube videos. However, for my short form content on TikTok and Instagram, this is the perfect camera. Or well, you just said that there is no such thing as a perfect camera. Shut up. This now stands on my tripod here in the window all the time. So all I have to do is just walk up to it and press record. Kind of a waste, but very convenient. Now, the pros and cons of this are simple. Pros, it's small. So small, in fact, you can fit it in your jeans pocket. It also shoots pretty decent 4K quality footage. Cons: the lens is fixed. You can't change it. And the battery is so doo-doo. It's useless. For it to match the battery time of my new camera, I would probably need to have like maybe 4 of these tiny batteries. And that just, no. Good for short form, bad for long form. For the last 3 cameras, I would say these are the fun ones. Firstly, my camcorder. I bought this because of something called the camcorder effect. It has 2 meanings. The first one is that it only shoots in 1080p. You know that bad, old, grainy, bad, nostalgic look. But because of this nostalgia and its kind of goofy form factor, I've noticed that people are much less camera shy in front of this compared to if I whip out this thing. And that just allows you to capture more raw emotions without the camera interfering with the moment. And I also bought this screw-on fisheye lens, which makes everything look like a 90s skateboarding clip or a rap video. But it really does work well in some scenarios. And I have to admit that the fisheye was heavily influenced by Sneeko, which has been going kind of crazy with the vlogs on Twitter or X lately. Okay, pros for this camera include insane battery life, waterproof up to 5 meters, camcorder effect, just cool. Cons, pretty bad in low light, and sometimes I actually wish it had 4K resolution. But you can't have everything. Next up, one of my personal favorites. My Leica camera. This is kind of my answer to a film camera. But August, this is fully digital. How does that even make sense? Well, I only have manual focus lenses for it. So every time I want to take a photo, I have to manually try to get the perfect focus. And when I go home and check the photos I took for the day, some are incredibly sharp and some are kind of blurry. But I kind of like that, because then you only get to save a few photos at a time and you can really cherish those. And Leica is known for having beautiful colors straight out the camera without any post-production, which is something I value. People describe their color science as the Leica magic. Another thing that is super cool and unique about this camera is that the body here is actually carved out of a single solid piece of aluminium, which means there are no seams. Well, except for the screen and stuff, but you know, no seams. Totally useless, but cool, I guess. Alright, for the positives of this camera, well, first, it's a Leica, it looks cool, and if you get the focus right, it takes super sharp images. Negatives are accessories are insanely expensive. Like, I wish I had the viewfinder for it, but secondhand it was just as expensive as the camera body. That's kind of the thing with this brand. Everything is just ridiculously expensive. Lastly, we have a drone. This I use way too little, but the few times I whip it out, it really adds to the video. Or well, it depends on what I'm filming. For instance, it's really good to get an overview of where you're at if you're in some special place. So when I'm at my friend's summer house or at a cabin or I'm on a mountain hike, then it's useful. However, when I'm filming a video in my room, not so useful. I mean, I can get clips like this, but why? But yeah, I have always loved tech growing up, and I've actually been paying kind of close attention to the brand DJI for probably at least a good part of a decade, if if not a decade. And it has been super impressive to just watch their drones become smaller and smaller and better and better. I remember my first DJI drone like 8 years ago, the Phantom 3. It was so bulky and it could only fly for like 15 minutes, and I'm pretty sure it only filmed in 1080p. Now I have this that folds together and can fit in my pocket. Additionally, it has better battery life and can film in beautiful 4K resolution. The pros and cons for this is basically the same as for any drone on the market. Like, the pros is that it's a drone, it can film in the air, and the cons is that there's always a better one. Bonus segment! Wishlist. Insta360 X5. There exists one type of camera that I don't own but really want, but only would use like maybe twice a year. A 360 camera. I would love to just hold it up behind me on a long selfie stick whenever I'm biking or riding my electric skateboard like Casey Neistat, or maybe when I'm driving a boat, so I can get that cool third-person view. For right now though, I can't really justify spending 800 bucks on it, but one day for sure. Anyways, that's it. As you can tell, I'm totally unapologetically a geek about this stuff, but I just love it. Please do let me know which one is your favorite down in the comments. Sony a6700, Insta360 Go 3, iPhone 15 Pro, Sony ZV-1, JVC Camcorder, Leica T, DJI Mini 2. Alright, bye.